to understand the exact consequences of the Flight 8, how the Flight 8 will perform the ahead in our the first ever Block 2 successful flight or not. So this flight will decide the entire the Starship program fate, because the Starship Block 2 is performing very critically during this first flight, but we expected that the Block 2 versions will perform the better than previously has performed. So we will see the Flight 8, how the Flight 8 will be performed today and in this month. I'm really wondering about the multiple failures and execution errors of the Flight 8 vehicles, and ground stations execution failures, and multiple of the failures has considered to be in my analytics. So let's see the risk analytics and consequences of the Flight 8, how that will be happen. So let's begin this video without wasting our time, because we have very less time, then the Flight 8 will happen soon, right? So let's begin this stream with the first thing that we're going to see, the successful scenarios of the Flight 8. The first is the trajectory of the ascent. Okay, the ascent trajectory you can see behind me. There is a clearance of the successful ascent will be certain, right? So you can see there the successful ascent has denoted in the orange line. You cannot see that because the resolution of this video is pretty low, but I'm telling you, the ascent of the Flight 8 vehicles would be flawlessly. It will pass through a mass queue, and then it will perform the rapid succession event considered to be the hot staging, which will be flawlessly performed by the booster, and the ship will reignite the six Raptor engines without any hesitations and any hardware malfunctions. And after then, it will perform the flip maneuver, the super heavy booster, the booster 15, and then it will start to do the boost back burn. And after the boost back burn has shut down, the hostage jettison will occur. And after the hostage jettison, the booster will reorient itself to perform the descent maneuver down to the tower A for the catching attempt. And in somehow the case, this is a ascent and the successful descent towards the tower, and expecting that the much of the larger of the risk during the ascent, I mean just the descent of the booster 15, will be posed soon as possible. We will see that once also, but the booster 15 will be caught by the Mechazilla arm for the third time. This will be the third booster of the our entire Starship program that has the caught by the Mechazilla arm for the third time, and I'm very expecting that should be happen as well. And after the ascent, after the successful ascent of the booster 15, it has dropped the ship 34 out of the atmosphere of the Earth, and the ship 34 has begun its journey to the suborbital phase. So ascent of the C-34 will be flawlessly, because the SpaceX has resolved the problem of the harmonic resonance that has seen over the ship 33, and this harmonic resonance has fixed, and the internal the like feed line jackets and the multiple feed lines of the corrections for their hardware redundancy and capability of the integrity to for like sustain themselves during the higher vibrations and different thrust level oscillations has fixed out. And as I expected, the ascent will go well till the suborbital phase hit. So the suborbital phase will be achieved by the SC-34 flawlessly in this flight, and at the 17 minutes, T plus 17 minutes, we will see the Shape 34 deployment of the Starlink simulator dummies into the space. And during the dummies deployment, we will not expecting any of the risk or the any of the anomaly will occur. This is just a successful data of it, right? But then after that, the ship will coast to and cruise to this the re-entry phase, and this naturally will get the re-entry. But before the re-entry, it will execute the Raptor demo, the Raptor relight demo, to execute the in space Raptor relight capabilities. So Raptor relight will occur very well, and after then the ship 34 will perform its the first kind of the re-entry phase, and the ship 34 as a block 2 would face to the many and massive dynamic phase of the reentry during the plasma buildup around the nose cone will expose it very highly, and it will display all of the tiles over the ship 34 nose cone without any issues. So the plasma will expose and penetrate the entire the chunk of the ship 34, the nose cone tiles and a group of the tiles, and the TPS over the nose cone will be worn off. I'm expecting that ship 34 will perform the barely through the re-entry, or somehow it will lost the telemetry data if the ship 34 survive through. So after the ship 34 survive somehow through the like re-entry phase, and then it will perform the like belly flop maneuver to the land over the Indian Ocean. So that the precise landing will require the landing burn to be executed. So the landing burn will execute it as well. But during the landing burn also we will have the multiple failures that we will discuss later. So this is a successful ascent and successful condition of the ship 34 and the booster 15. It's the kind of its own track trajectory milestone achievement they have performed. So in a flight 8 we expect it to be multiple failures. So let's see and count them one by one. The first anomaly will occur during the re-entry of the ship 34. Okay, we will go in by the ship 34 first attempt because we have to understand the ship 34 better than the actual booster 15. So the ship 34 will perform the actual re-entry as expected. And since the species has shifted to the redesigning of the ship 34's the dry mass, the species has reduced its width by the many of the percentage. So that will lead the higher exposure and the low tolerance of the plasma. Means that the plasma will deflect over the dry mass very well. The flow of the plasma will never disrupt any dry mass integrity. But problem is that it's the actually the tolerance rate will be low because the plasma tolerance rate and the re-entry tolerance rate would be low due to the less blunt body. So blunt body is really a greater challenge for the SpaceX for the Block 2 versions. The Block 2 version is very fragile without the TPS implementations. So the thermal protection tile systems is really required to be implemented over the ship 34. So ship 34 won't and cannot survive without the TPS system over the years, right? And that will lead the total and uniform re-entry route of the ship 34. If somehow it has survived through the re-entry with the fragile toasty body of its, and then it will perform the landing burn, there we expected the multiple failure will occur. So the first is a Raptor malfunction during the landing burn is expected. The first ever the Raptor of the Block 2 versions has seen a multiple the harmonic resonance during its ascent that caused to the Raptor premature shutdown during its shutdown sequences. But in this case of the landing burn, we have gone through multiple dynamic phases of the re-entry, and that made the Raptor feed lines very fragile. If the species has reinforced them very well, still there is a problem of the Raptor 2 of the reignition during the re-entry and the landing burn of it. So during the re-entry they will get fragile, and the header tank feed lines and down feed lines will be damaged a lot. So expected that the two Raptors will be go down during the landing burn of the ship 34, but it will perform the landing burn very well without any hesitation. But the head landing is expected to be there, right? And let's see the second part of the video. That is very good about the ship 34. Oh well, this is the ship 34 expected the data that I have analytic. I have analysis to understand what and where we will go fail, right? So you can see in top of it there is a rudder tank and FWD fragility, which means the forward section fragility. Disassembly will be happen. So the forward section, which means the nose cone section, will have the higher exposure to plasma due to the leeward shifted flaps. So the windward side of the nose cone will face the multiple of the plasma, it will slam over the entire nose cone, and then it will deflect back to the our leeward side shifted flaps. So this making the nose cone frontier for the entire tolerance of the plasma. So the nose cone will face the multiple dynamic phases of the thermal energy of the plasma or the re-entry. So and then the error tank down period line root estimated, right? So the estimated root will be happen in the downline of the error tank, and expected the based on ejection of the Starlink simulation. Starlink simulators is will be happened sometime after the ascent of the ship 34, and that expected the route during the deployment of them. And as I expected, the Raptor malfunction during the landing burn, as we have discussed it just momentarily ago, and then the nose cone TPS meltdown is expected very well, and the expected route is certain. And you can see the re-entry route there. The telemetry loss is certain and very expected, and the landing burn route is very expected, but has noted in a very lighter chances, and hard landing is very low chances to be happen. So we are not expecting that every consider the failure will happen, but ship 34 is very fragile for that. So the ship 34 failure forecasting is very greater here, that giving us the wonder and the great data of the how the SpaceX should have to perform with the critical of the ship's 34 experts, as expecting the as I consider to be the well, including the vulnerable areas of the ship 34 is left out to the sea, and measure the how the ship 34 will perform during the re-entries, and re-entry the thermal energy will expose the entire the vulnerable areas and damage them a lot. So I'm expecting that everything will go well, but if that these failures will happen, I'm expecting this failure will be happen. I'm happening. So it's happening. There is no chances to be happen, but I'm saying my guts are saying this will happen. And let's see. Okay. So this one is a flow chart of the thermal energy during the re-entry. So plasma is flowing in the orange lines, and that the cool down is like blue line is really considered to be a very lighter plasma slamming over the leeward flaps. So you can see the leeward side is not experiencing too much damage, but the windward side is expected to be too much damage, and that will lead the 89% of the nose cone TPS worn off. So TPS will be lost by the 89%, and expected that is certain amount. And 37 dry mass of the dry mass TPS lost is expected 37% of the dry mass. 37% of the dry mass TPS will be lost. And then the forward flaps TPS will be worn off by the 11%. There is no chances that the leeward flaps will lose any of their TPS of their own. And then aft flaps is expected to be one of their TPS. It's not actually expectations, but still we are not expecting any one of the flaps of their of their own, because they have reinforced very well. And you can see the thermal allocation will be low due to the leeward forward flap has shifted, right? So thermal allocation across the surface of the nose cone has disrupted, because of the our new design has introduced the leeward flaps. So the leeward flaps is really hiding behind the nose cone, and nose cone is exposing in the frontier of the plasma. So the plasma will expose the nose cone very hardly. It will slam over it. But if the plasma has entered into the adult layers of that, then it will expose and damage them a lot, and very highly and tremendously. I'm expecting that the powerful damage over the nose cone, because of these the less blunt body, because ship 32, I'm not expecting the ship 31, ship 30, and these were very higher kind of the ships have very a blunt body, so their body has stand out very heavily towards the plasma. So they could have to stand out very well, and they had actually resonated the multiple of the thermal dynamics of the re-entry. But in the block 2 versions, there is a less chances of the C-34 will survive without the thermal protection test. So single point failure is estimated in throughout the flights, and expected is very much, right? And okay, so let's see the booster 15, its own fate, right? So I'm telling you the booster 15, the failure scenarios, if everything goes fine, and if the booster 15 has cocked for the third time, it will be a historical moment for us. So let's see and analyze that one. So you can see the booster 15 over there. The booster 15, the Raptor activation would be the 33 out of 33 during its ascent, that is estimated, and it will done the Raptor activation again for a boost back burn for the 13 out of 13 engine will be done. And during the Raptor activations, the preparedness for the entire return to the the RTLS process is has begun since the ascent has started, right? So also the automatic checks has performed onto the booster and also that on the tower itself. So the if anything goes wrong, if anything goes wrong, the booster 15 will be diverted towards the Gulf of America, right? So the Gulf of America will be the spot where the booster 15 will successfully and calmly splash down without having any problems. So I'm expecting the offshore diversion in this flight data. I'm spotted that one because I have the very strong reason for that. So you can see there is a like 100 out of 57 out of the 100 chances that the booster 15 offshore will be happen. Booster 15 will go offshore diverted. This is my word, mark my word. So you can see, so there we go. But if somehow the booster 15 has survived and it has passed through the automatic check, then possibility is there the booster 15 will have the landing and major failure. This is not actually 100% failure or even the 30% of the ratio failure. This is just the expectation and wondering about the booster 15 will have the Raptor malfunction during the landing burn. We expecting the Raptor ignition, the 11 out of the 13 Raptor engines will happen, and that led to the hard landing over the chopsticks. But what happened in the case of the offshore diversion? The chopstick actuations either will be happen because the SpaceX for the testing of the chopstick arms before the booster 15 roll out to the launch pad, and in that test we have seen the multiple attempts of the fastest and accelerated actuations has performed. So we expecting the hard landing on the chopstick, and the SpaceX expecting to aggressive landing and descent maneuver down to the tower, and also expected the chopstick actuation will go fail if anything goes wrong in the actuation system. So I'm expecting the hard landing, aggressive landing, and offshore diversion on the spot on. And these were my expectations and consequences of the booster 15 on ship 34. And for the today, this is enough, guys. And my name is Gaudushi. I'm watching NASA Directory. I'm really excited to see the flight 8 ahead. And my name is Gaudushi. I'm watching the NASA Directory again. And we will meet you as soon as before the flight 8 head on the Friday. So let's see what will happen next. It will be sleep off very little bit, and we are expecting the flight 8 will be not happen in this month. In the March, the first March is a gate for the our flight 8, right? So let's see that one. I'm really excited that one. So this was my analytics of the ship 34 and booster 15, the flight consequences. So this is the flight 8 consequences video we have done, and bye.